Fishy friends, I'm really excited about tonight's show. It looked like it wasn't going to be able to happen for a second there because Tom Weaver was in a little bit of a dicey cell phone situation. I'm going to go ahead and bring him in. He is live at the White Marlin Open. What's going on, Tom? How are you?
Oh, good, good.
So this will be kind of like a multi-pronged report here tonight because, I mean, how can we not talk about the White Marlin Open? It's like, isn't it the biggest fishing tournament in the world?
Yeah, prize money wise, actually participation wise too. Yeah, 408 boats this year. So $8.5 million up for grabs.
Woo.
So yeah.
So tell us what's going on there. What's the news? Anybody winning?
It's we got one more day, Friday. It's been really, really difficult marlin fishing. The water's been kind of weird and funky. Nothing coming in off the Gulf Stream. So today, finally, 2 marlins were weighed, a white marlin and a blue marlin. Story up to today has always been about the tuna, but we've been marlin fishing. And so 1 blue weighed and 1 white. And they're not even, the white's just right on the limit. And the blue's decent, but certainly beatable, cleaner water, better water coming in tomorrow. So I think a lot of the boats are waiting for that good water to come in tomorrow.
So it's a wide open tournament right now.
Oh, wide open. I mean, the tuna divisions, that's some of the biggest tunas ever in this tournament because it's all been big eyes, and they got into the big eyes and said, it's a 1 pound difference for about $1.5 million at the moment. One guy came in, and then a guy came in 1 hour later with another 1 pound, and that made a difference of $1.3 million.
But $1.3 million, that's almost enough to pay for your gas.
Right. Well, actually, gas is coming down, so it's getting better. I'm at the fuel dock. Here's all the fuel trucks over here. So this is how we fuel up. We bring trucks down here to fuel all the boats. They pull up to little docks. So we need truckloads of fuel to fill these boats up.
So walk me through your day today. I know it's a little bit different than a Fishing with Weaver trip.
Yeah, I got hired by these guys just to help them out. And it was sort of, I pushed it in terms of I've been doing this tournament for 15, 16 years, and I wasn't going to do it this year. So these guys said, hey, can you come fish with us? And I'm like, sure. And
twist my arm.
Yeah, and it's a lot of work for me. But we're getting there. We're putting it together. I'm actually feeling pretty happy about tomorrow. So, by the end of the tournament, we're starting to come together.
So there's only 2 fish landed, but you guys did have some action on the boat today.
We had a lot of, today we did good. I mean, early on, landed in the spot we wanted to be on, found good water. Within 20 minutes, had 2 bites, got 1 fish on, hooked up, jumping everywhere. I turned around, cleaned up the deck a little bit. Next thing I know, it had gone, which is unusual with circle hooks. Normally, once they're on, they don't really come unstuck. So I don't know why that one came unstuck. Then we had a few bites. Right now, the fish, and I just sent you a picture of Sea Dock. And if you look down there, there's about 5 flags, which means those were 5 fish caught by all those boats, not many fish at all. No. We had a lot of action, and but we're getting swipes. These fish are very picky. They're not actually grabbing the bait, so trying to feed to them, and it's been tough getting a bite, a real bite.
Now, is that because of water clarity? The fish can't see the offering well enough to make it clean straight?
Great. It's blended water. We found some pretty nice water. They see it. They're just hitting it and spooking off, They're not even really coming into the spread. They're hitting all our long baits, which is unusual. They'd normally come up into the teasers and dredges. I have had no teaser bites yet. So it's just picky fish on the outside.
Okay. Well, I have no doubt at all that tomorrow you guys are gonna land the
73-pound white marlin right now would put us into about $4 million.
Well, I'm gonna call it. And if I get it right, you got to take me fishing 5 times. You're gonna catch an 81-pound marlin tomorrow.
I would probably be able to take you fishing 5 times a year after that.
Yeah. As if me calling it, actually caused anything to change. Let's shift about, let's see, you're in Ocean City. Let's shift about 75 miles
Yeah, so Saturday
northwest.
morning, I leave here tomorrow night. I'm back at it on Saturday morning in Annapolis. So I've got a trip first thing Saturday morning, so I'll boogie out of here and get back up there. Um, right now, we've still got a really good top water bite first thing in the morning, shallow water, a lot of nice rockfish and some specks occasionally tucked up in the shallows. And so that's all sort of Eastern Bay, Chop Tank area.
So it's still that like 2.5 to 5 feet of water.
Yes, yeah, right. Yeah, they're just all tucked up in the rocks and up in the shallows, and that bite, as soon as the sun gets up above above the horizon, shuts right down, done. And so that's your rockfish bite first thing in the morning, and then the bluefish mackerel, they're starting to blow up right after that. So you just move out into the 20 feet of water, find the schools. Not a lot of birds, but some birds, and quite often we're finding fish just busting on their own. Some small rockfish mixed in, but reasonable sized blues for what we get nowadays. Not like the old time, but decent. We're getting decent, 2-pounder bluefish.
That's nice.
And lots of mackerel, and sometimes we find macks on their own. So macks will drive you crazy, and you see them all, but everybody loves them, and we'll grab 4 or 5 in a morning trip out of that. A lot of casting, and that's kind of fun. And then we've got red drum in our area, so always keeping an eye out for them. The other day, middle of the week, before I came down here, we stumbled right across a 40 fish underneath me, and only actually had 2 red drum rods on board, cast one in, hooked up, threw the second one in, the fish crossed that first line, so I just didn't want to get hooked up because I didn't want to cut the first one off, and went with one, and then caught that one in about 20 minutes, and 48-inch drum, and then went and looked for them again, and I spent an hour, and I was on my own. I had no help, so totally alone, no help from anybody, and I spent an hour just concentric circles, getting bigger. Never found them again.
But after your customer just caught a bull red, they're fine with you taking that time to keep looking, right?
Oh, totally. Yeah, it was a half-day trip. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The morning trip, I had to get them back by lunchtime to pick my afternoon trip up. So they were thrilled.
I'm pretty sure I know what you used to catch those red drum, because you use pretty much the same thing for everything. But just in case people that weren't watching last month, what are you catching those drum on?
I mix it up a bit. I'll be totally fair. So the red drum, there's a purple and clear glitter 6 and an 8-inch paddle tail. My daughter, when she goes into the store, she picks that up off the shelf at the bottom. So there's always one of those in the spread. So that's the first lure that goes over the side and it gets hooked up. Then I have a bunch of different things. And quite honestly, gaudy, flashy, 1.5 ounce jig head, they eat anything if you put it in front of them. I mean, they're not picky, So if you see them, throw it, make sure it hits the bottom, jig it twice, and you'll be on.
I'm surprised it wasn't just that plain old chartreuse, but not 4-inch, not 4-inch, but for a bull red. But maybe I thought you'd throw like a 6-inch.
I've caught them on the 4-inch, absolutely. 3/4 ounce jig head and a 4-inch paddle tail. If I don't have anything else, I'll throw it in there.
That hook is probably just big enough.
Just big enough. I like to throw the 1.5 ounce. Get it down there, because the thing is that they're under you for such a short period of time. Generally, the trick is see them, toss it in off the back, make sure that gets to the bottom. They're in 18 to 22 feet of water typically. That's what I find them in, quite deep. So you got to make sure you count to, make sure it gets to the bottom. Jig it twice. If you start jigging too early, you'll be above them. You won't get them.
Yeah, so that's a good thing that you brought up, and we try to cater to both the seasoned angler and the beginner. I know when I first moved here and started fishing the bay, feeling bottom was a difficult thing for me, right. And I think it is for a lot of people, especially when you first start. As a guide with newer fishermen on the boat, what do you recommend as techniques to help people feel bottom a little bit better?
Well, again, I say that the red drum. I mean, this isn't. We get into what I call technical jigging later in the season, September, October, when I start jigging ledges and getting really technical on the 3/4 ounce jig head, really being able to detect bottom 15 to 20 feet of water. These drum, all I want to do, I'm not even really trying to feel bottom. I'm casting it, open bail, and it's then just count to 10, 15, and then jig it back. I'm not even trying to feel bottom. I mean, I know it's down there. I know they're going to be zipping away quickly. So they're not like stripers, which are really hard to catch. I mean, stripers are picky, difficult. You've got to detect it. It's a subtle bite sometimes. And tap, 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 feel the bottom snap, feel the bottom snap. This is jig, but bam. And I mean, there's no doubt you have a drum on, and
they just take it and go.
I think what people have to understand is when they're fishing under mackerel and bluefish out there, they're just throwing those little light things and ripping them across the surface. And if they have see that on their screen, just lob it off the bag. And it might or might not be drum. But I mean, if it looks like a VW bus on your depth sounder, have a go. And the next thing you know, but make sure you've got the right gear, 30, 40 pound leader, 4,000 reel, medium heavy rod, or, something with a bit of backbone. I mean, I've caught them on lighter stuff, but you get a much better chance if I put at least 30 on all my mac rods now, because quite often we catch them on a mac rod by accident. And if you've got a drum on and you've got sort of 15, 20 pound leader on, it's like, oh man, are we even going to get this thing? Which is a shame,
And mackerel aren't leader sensitive, right? They're not gonna.
They are. They
are. Okay.
Yeah, the mackerel I'll dial down to 25. Downside is they bite through it, So you can see if you throw 15, they're going to just chomp through all your gear. So I generally try 25 if they're being picky. 30 pounds, wouldn't go anything more than 30 for the max. I've caught red drum, fishing for max. Kids have gone, whoa, this one's heavier than a mac. It's like, oh man, it's a drum.
You were doing pretty well on trout. Not too long ago. Has that held up, or is that
slowed down? I got a trout my last trip. I got one. Actually, we lost it right at the boat, but a really nice one. Definitely seeing less trout, and that's kind of typical. They sort of seem to be easing out of our area, so it's not like they're done. But I'm not getting them every trip now.
Right. So you're one of the few guys that we have on that offers, fly fishing as a big part of what you do. Have you had much of that going on recently? And
my last trip before I came here was a fly trip, and did great. Got a little bit of everything, got some bluefish. It was a little mixed bag of fish. I got, bluefish and Spanish and rockfish. Yeah.
Have you ever caught I know you and I chatted kind of offline. Have you ever caught a bull red or come close to catching a bull red on a fly rod setup?
Well, the fly rod is on the boat. So it's not that we haven't had the opportunity, but each time, there's the fish, we throw the big gear in, and I got some fly guys coming. We won't be throwing jigs at them. So
right. So you shared with me last time, I believe, your pretty much go-to fly, which is like is it a clouser, a big clouser?
No, well, it depends. It's a hollow fly, a Bob Popovich hollow fly. It's like a little 4-inch one that I use. Hang on a second. Let me just text my wife. She's about to try FaceTime me. So
sure.
Stay right there.
No problem. All right, guys, if you're watching at home, for moments just like this, we have a question for the audience. If you caught in the text, in the chat, put in the last fish that you caught, size and species. Go ahead, Tom.
Sorry, what was that?
Oh no, it's just for moments like that. We prepared questions for the audience. Just put in the last fish they caught and what size.
So my go-to striper fly is a 4-inch hollow fly, Bob Popovich hollow fly, which is devastating on the stripers. I've got some big ones tied for the drum in different colors, a little bit more you know, some 8 and 10-inch ones, bigger with more colors in. Alan Rupp in Connecticut ties them for me. He's Fly on the Water, a professional fly tyer, and these are incredible flies and difficult to tie. But so I got those red drum ones ready, and we'll see if we can get one of these guys. I mean, it's not going to take much. It's just um, you know, we just got to put one in front of these fish, I think, and we just yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a matter of you having customers on the boat that are hooking into bull reds.
Right.
And generally, in those cases, you need to be helping them, not taking
Oh,
up your
100%. Oh,
yeah.
no. I mean, I the other day I could have thrown. I mean, you know, but if I hook one up on the fly, they're going to be helping me. So no, this is yeah. You know, if we had last week we had 4 fish on, and fortunately I threw a rod in and hooked one because we got one cut off by another boat that came in and everybody cast over. So we ended up with 3 on in the first go round and then 4 on in the second go round. And I managed to hand a rod off when one guy got cut off to do that. Yeah.
We got a question coming in, and we also have some people. Sean Fenwick, how you doing, buddy? I think you ordered a shirt from us recently. Let me know if you got it, and thank you so much for the purchase. Sean said he caught a 25-inch striper as his last fish. Big Yacker caught a black sea bass 19 inches in New York. That's a solid black sea bass.
At least
for what we have in the bay. I think the biggest one I've caught in the bay is like 12 or 13 inches.
Right, in the bay, yeah.
Shore Sharp said he caught a 51-inch red in 4 feet of water. Woo!
We're catching all our big ones in sort of 20 feet. We get our puppy drum in the shallow. So.
Yeah, he caught his on a soft crab. Tom, do you use bait on your boat? You're just all artificial, right?
Yeah, all artificial,
yeah. And then Sean, I'm glad you received the shirt. That's awesome that it fits great. Sean asked, are you fishing the White Marlin Open?
Sorry, say that again?
Sean asked, is Tom fishing the WMO, the White Marlin Open?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, so that's where he is.
Okay.
We talked about that a little bit earlier, Sean. They're having some kind of rough water conditions. Tomorrow's supposed to be nicer, and but you know, I can let Tom wrap it up real quick. But you're saying that that there hasn't been much on the board yet, right?
Right. The water's been very blended and mixed. I mean, the weather's been fine. Just got nothing coming in and some weird clockwise cat eddies. There's nothing much going on and long runs to the fence, but there's a little bit of better water poking in. I think middle of next week it'll be really, really good fishing down here, but it's just been tough finding the fish.
Okay, we got a couple more minutes if you guys want to ask questions. I have a question for you though, Tom. When I've done mackerel fishing in the past, it's it's on a spinning rig and you're moving pretty fast.
Yes.
Is there a way to do that on a fly rod setup to where you can move that fly anywhere near as fast as you need to get a mackerel to bite?
Yes, so we're experimenting. I'm working on another technique, but we got one the other day, but we're doing something where it's going to be different. But yes, if you're trying to strip for a fly, you put the fly rod under your armpit, and then you double strip with your hands, and you can get it in pretty quick. And also, the interesting thing about what we're pulling back with the fly rod is really small Clouser style flies, which look a lot like the rain minnow. So we tend to get the follow and the bite right at the boat because they are looking for that size fish, whereas the GIs and all the stuff, the really heavy stuff that we throw is bigger than their typical bait.
Sure.
That's why they like that little bit of flash on the back. But yeah, if you double strip by putting the rod under your arm and just double strip as fast as you can.
So you put the rod under your arm. Is the rod tip sort of up or pointed?
No, rod tip down. Rod tip right down at the water. And then you can now strip with both hands. Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Bang. Yeah, that's what we call double strip, and that gets it coming back pretty quick.
Sean's wishing you luck out there, Tom. If you guys didn't didn't catch it earlier, I predicted he's going to catch an 81-inch marlin tomorrow.
81 pound, right? 81 pound.
81 pounds. Sorry, 81
Yeah.
pound. And if he does, he's got to. I'm going to add to it. He's got to take me fishing for free for the rest of my life. So.
Well, I'll probably be able to afford it by then.
Right.
If we get that, I'll be retired. It'll be great. I'll be retired from fishing.
Just retire. Forget it. Right. We talked about bluefish a little bit and saying you caught some pretty good sized bluefish this year. I feel like I'm in the minority on this, but how many of your customers keep bluefish for smoking on the grill?
Oh, well, I do that for a lot of my customers when we get a pile. I love to smoke bluefish. I love to eat them. And everybody gets excited when the bluefish come to town. I got guys can't wait till the bluefish show up. And then I typically, we get our little mess of bluefish, because we're allowed to keep 5 each. And so that's enough, especially when we get these 2-pounders. I'll throw those in, I'll brine them and smoke them, and then I'll vacuum pack them and send them to the clients.
Oh, I'm glad you appreciate it, because that to me is like,
it's great.
I don't know if you can call it a secret.
I've converted many of my clients who said the secret, the trick about smoking bluefish is to put it on a cedar plank, put it in the smoker, smoke it, and then throw the bluefish away and eat the plank, right? They haven't tried my smoked bluefish.
No, it makes it's great smoked fish on its own. It makes really good smoked fish dip. Yeah. Like I said, I don't know if it's a secret, because I've met other people that like it, but the number of people that have shared the opinion of the person you talked about, where you throw away the fish and eat the plank. I mean, that there's a lot of those guys on the bay that just think that they're trash fish.
I've converted them, you know.
Yeah. Big Yacker says bluefish are awesome and underrated. Big Yacker, I always knew you were a smart guy. What else? Anything else going on at the White Marlin Open? Any surprise catches on the bay this year?
Well, I mean, I just think that the number of big eyes that have come in has been impressive. I mean, these are 250, 248, 246 pound fish. And they changed the lines in time from 8:30 to 8. And I think that might be a little bit of the reason for big eyes, giving us a little bit of a head start. They're obviously all on a group of big eyes, they're all in the same place. So the big eyes. And then the other category that's new this year is swordfish. No longer are we allowed to catch and keep sharks, so they've got swordfish. And I know there was some swordfish caught today. I don't think any of them qualified to be big enough to get weighed. Got
it. Well, Tom, it's a pleasure as always. You know, I see you're running out of daylight there.
Yeah. There's the background. There it is. There's the marina.
I also realize that you're running. I mean, you probably got what, 4 or 5 hours of sleep.
Yeah, we're back at it at 3:30 tomorrow morning. Yeah.
Back at it to 3:30. Did you have something?
No, just remind me about his charter service.
Oh yeah. Of course. How could we forget? Fish with Weaver. How does somebody get in touch with you, and when's the soonest they can get on your boat?
I'm pretty much full till early first week or two of September. August is booked. But September, I've got some spots, particularly midweek. September weekends are full. Surprisingly, I'm really full in October at the moment. I'm running out of days in October. Popular month for rockfish anyway. So if you want to do any October fishing, get in touch right away. But yeah, on the website, www.fishwithweaver.com, Facebook, Instagram, same address.
Yeah, people still want to say that it's Rocktober.
Yeah,
well, we can close with this, Tom, but I think it's Rockvember.
November's better. November's getting better and better.
And December is hot.
Yeah. We got fishing all the way through. People say, when you stop, I'm like, I don't stop. I just keep going.
No, I never winterize my boat.
No. I take it out for 2 weeks, do a bit of work to it, and then put it right back in again.
Keep going.
The fuel truck's just pulled away, so I can actually hear you.
Oh yeah, you've been doing great with all that considered.
Yeah.
But you only got a couple hours before you got to wake up.
Right.
We'll let you go, but any final thoughts?
Well, if I get that 81-pound marlin, you might not hear from me for a while. I'll be going to Disney World, so.
Well, you'll have to send me a clip, and we'll just make that the report.
Right.
Next month, you holding up a big check for several $1 million
in Disney World.
But yeah, and then Disney World. Yeah, I was about to say, why are you going to go to Disney World? And I was like, oh, you have a kid.
A 4-year-old. I told her. I said, if I get on TV tomorrow night, so we're going to Disney World.
That's right. Tom, thank you so much. Everyone at home that brought questions and encouragement for Tom for tomorrow at the White Marlin Open. Thank you guys so much. We will see everyone here next month with Tom. And, of course, next week we have Walleye Pete and a few others. Actually, we are starting an Ocean City fishing report with Anthony Pino of Hook Optics. Cool. You probably have heard of the Blood Money boat.
Oh, yeah, very well. Know them well, yeah.
So he'll be on our reports next week along with Walleye Pete. But thank you guys so much at home for watching, and we will see you next time.
Cheers.
Bye, Tom.
Young, just hang around. Too proud to be your